Welcome back. We are now playing Dice Throne by Roxley. We only currently have the Season 2 expansions because this game sold out like hotcakes, and I finally have the Season 1 rerolled ordered, and it should be delivered later on this year, which I'm very excited for. I am playing as the Gunslinger.
And I am playing as the Vampirous Lord.
And you are going first.
Yep.
Since I went first last game.
Of course, you start with 4 cards, 2 combat power, and 25 health. I'm going to go ahead and look to see what I can do. I can do this. Cost me 0 of my combat power, or CP. I'm going to gain 1 CP and 1 blood power, which is one of my little tokens here. And let's see what else I can do. Okay, I'm gonna play this. Possess. Number 2. Cost me 2 combat power.
So as long as you have enough combat power to support any upgrade cards or any cards from your hand, you can play as many cards as you want.
Yep.
If you ever run out of combat power, you can always sell cards in your main phase, which is whenever your turn first starts, or towards the end after you roll for your attack phase, you can sell cards at that time as well to go ahead and gain combat power if needed.
Correct. Okay, now it's on to my rolling phase. What my rolling phase is depending on what one of these attacks that I'm going to do for the symbol that I can roll on my dice. So a 6 counts as something, a 5 counts as something different, and we'll just go from there. So let's see. Okay, I got some good stuff already. I'm going to keep this. It's kind of like Farkle in a way, if you guys have played that. You keep the dice that you want to hold on to, and you roll or re-roll the other dice
Up to
until
3
you
times.
can get what you think you can get, as long as you're, like he said, in that 3 dice roll. Okay, well, I got everything I wanted and more. I'm gonna go ahead and just re-roll this one to see what else I get. Okay, well, that's pretty much it. So I have 3 eyeballs. So for that, it's the Glamour. I gain 1 CP and gain Mesmerized, and I deal 4 undefendable damage. So
We each start at 25 health for this style. There are different styles of this game. There's the King of the Hill version, there's teams. Obviously, since there's just 2 of us, it's competitive and we go back and forth. Obviously, the objective of the game is to be the last one standing. And I take 4 damage, so I'm at 21.
And of course he cannot block that, so he would not roll, but if this was one of those moments where he could block, he'd be able to roll to see what he can get to block. He can either stop the attack, lessen the attack, or do damage back to me.
Or evade, if I had an evade token, which I do off to the side. I just don't have any currently acquired since we just started.
And now it's the second portion of my turn, which is selling a card if I want to gain CP. I'm going to sell this card and gain 1 CP. So now I only have 1 card, and for this game you only draw 1 card at the beginning of your next turn. And of course gain a combat point. And now it's my husband's turn.
Alright. So since this is the start of my turn, I was not the first player. I will gain 1 CP or combat point, draw a card, and I have a passive. So during my upkeep phase, I gain a reload, which is an attack modifier that I can use at any time. I have a stack limit of 2, and I get them every single time that it's my turn. Let's see.
They say cheating's afoot.
Don't be jealous of the Gunslinger. Let's see.
Vampirous could not be jelly.
Alright, I'm going to spend 1 combat point to upgrade my Bounty Hunter ability.
Very nice.
And I'm going to spend my last 2 on the revolver upgrade to go ahead and increase damage there. And
Dare him.
I'm going to roll all 5 die. See what I can come up with. Alright. I get to use one of my upgraded abilities, so I inflict bounty. So I place this on another player, and they receive 1 additional damage while they have the bounty on, and it's a persistent. And then I'm going to use my attack modifier. So I roll a die, and whatever the value is, add half of that damage to my roll, which I rolled a 2, so just a 1. So you get 3 undefendable damage.
Very nice. So from my 25, of course. There we go. And it is his second portion of his turn where he can sell a card to gain another CP.
I am going to sell Deadeye just because it's not the easiest to go ahead and get 6s in this game. Which, if you get all 5 of your dice to go ahead and become a 6, you can use your ultimate ability, which deals a lot of damage depending on, every character is different. For example, mine is I gain an evasive token, inflict a bounty, and knockdown, which is another one of my tokens. Then deal 10 damage. If you spend a reload token, you may re-roll that die 1 more time.
There we go.
Alright, and I will end my turn there.
Okay, so beginning of your turn, if you're not first player, you gain a CP and you draw a card. And let's see. Okay. Now it goes on to my roll phase. Does this happen now?
Oh, actually, you should have taken 1 extra damage. So it would have been.
Oh, okay.
I forgot it adds a bonus.
So it's only when I get hurt?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I have some good stuff already. Let's see what I can get here. Wow. Well, there's no harm in rolling. Okay. Well, I got some good stuff. So I'm going to heal 2. And I gain 3 blood power, which my stack limit is 4, which I already have 1, so I am at my stack limit. And that is it for that. Now let's see what I want to do here. I'm going to sell this, gain 1 CP, and end my turn.
Alright. Gain reload. Gain a CP. And gain a card. Alright. We are going to use the ability Take Cover. I gain an evasive. Then deal 5 damage. Now this damage is defendable, so now you can go ahead and roll your
Okay.
defensive.
So my defensive is 3 dice. I roll to see what I can get. So I have 2 hands, which is if I get 2 hands, I inflict bleed. With bleed, on his upkeep phase, he has to roll at 1 dice, and if he gets 1 through 4, he receives 1 damage. Otherwise, he can remove the token. And one of these eyeballs does absolutely nothing on its own. If I had a blood mark, I'd be able to steal 1 health per dice. And that's the end of my roll. So how much damage do you do to me?
5.
5? Okay.
6 with your
Oh, yes.
bounty.
Okay. Perfect. Okay.
And I don't want to sell anything, so I am good with my turn.
Perfect. Okay. So CP. Card. We're going immediately use it. Cost me 1 CP. Double up. Draw 2 cards. Okay. I'm going to use this. Gorge number 3. I have to pay the full price of it. Meaning because it's not a level 2 and then a level 3. It's just immediately to a 3. So it just costs the full price. If I had a level 2 and was moving to a level 3, I would only have to pay half. Okay. Okay, let's see. I am going to just do my roll here. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I just got so lucky. Okay, I'm going to use this card. Cost me 1 combat point. Increase or decrease any 1 die, 1 value. I'm going to increase my 1 to, oh, I guess it wouldn't work that way. Because I was hoping a 1 cannot go to a 6. Okay, well, I lied. I am not going to use that. Gain that CP back. And I'll just use this as the small straight. Since
It's a large straight.
Is it still a large straight?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. Well, never mind. I'm just messing myself up. Okay, so I'm going to gain 1 blood power, which I can't, but I'm going to use 4 blood power tokens equal to the amount of damage you successfully deal this roll is what I heal. So, however much I can actually do. And I can gain Mesmerize, which I already have 1. Okay, perfect.
So how much damage
So
does your small straight do?
It
Oh, your large
my
straight.
large straight deals 8 damage, and I inflict bleed
Alright.
on you as well.
I'm going to try to evade this. So
Perfect.
for a successful evasion, I have to go ahead and roll either a 1 or a 2. And I rolled a 3, so I do not evade that. So I do gain this. However, my defensive is dual. So grab a die,
Perfect.
and we just roll. Whoever has a higher amount. Alright, we're tied, so I gotta roll again.
Of course.
Alright, so
Yay.
you are higher. Alright, so if my roll is not greater than, I only deal 1 damage to you.
Okay.
And I have 2 bleed, and how much damage?
8 damage.
And then you
I
heal
8 damage.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I am at 13 health.
And I'm back to full health. You can go over your health as long as you're healing, and it can only be to 30
Okay.
instead of 25.
Was that the rest of your turn?
Oh, sorry about that. And I'm going to sell this card and gain a combat point. Now it is your turn.
Alright, so I gotta roll a die twice to see if I can not take any damage from your bleed. I got a 4. 1 through 4 is 1 damage?
Yep. And you have 2 of them.
Yep. Alright, well I take 2 damage.
Yay, it's working.
And I gain a reload. Gain a CP.
Your feet
And
are
a card.
cold from going out there on that wet grass outside. Yep.
Okay. Alright, so we are going to use Take Cover again, gain Evasive, and I deal 5 damage, but I want to use one of my reloads to add some damage. Wow, okay. So 1, so a total of 7 damage to you.
Okay. That would be actually 8, or
7,
did you already
that's
do it?
what's 7.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and force you to re-roll one of your dice.
But you have to roll first.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to utilize it. It did not work, so there we go. I had to get a 5 or a 6. I rolled a 2. Of course I did. And now I'm going to go ahead and roll 3 dice for my defensive. Oh, wow. So I just inflict bleed on you.
What's the stack limit for bleed?
Oh, 2.
Okay.
Dang it. How dare him pay attention to that. Okay. And how much damage did you just do me?
7.
Okay. Okay.
And I don't want to sell anything, so it's your turn.
Perfect. So I gain 1 combat point. 1 card. Immediately I'm going to use it like the other card. It costs me 0. And I gain 2 combat points. It's been working pretty nice for me so far. Okay, immediately to my roll phase. Okay. Be something crazy right here.
It almost was the same roll.
Right? Pretty much. And that's the 1. Okay. So let's see what I have here. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. So all 5 hands deal 8 damage on a 3 of a kind, which I do not have. I also do have. I would have been able to gain blood power, which I don't have.
So it's 8
it's
damage?
just 8 damage.
Alright, I'm going to try to do an evasive.
I'm actually going to use this really quick and make it a 3 of a kind.
Well, I once again was not able to evade that, but we are now going to duel.
Oh, I gave myself one of these because I gained blood power. And now duel.
I got a 6.
Me too.
Okay. Try it again. A 5. Okay. So here's the other caveat to being able to duel. So if I roll greater than the opponent, I get to choose to either deal 3 damage or prevent half of the damage rolled rounded up. So how much was your damage?
8.
Alright. And I rolled a 5, so half of that is 2.5, so it would go up to 3. I can prevent 3 of that damage, so... or hit you for 3. I will prevent 3 damage and only take 5.
Okie dokie. And of course I have no other cards, so it is immediately your turn.
4, 5. I am at 6 health. Gunslinger's not looking so hot right now.
Good.
Gain that. I got another hit because of this bleed. And another one.
It's working to plan.
And combat power and a card. Alright, I'm going to pay 2 CP to use Bye-Bye. Remove a status effect token. So I got one of my bleeds gone.
Drats.
Okay, let's see. Let's start rolling to see what we can come up with.
That sounds our dog being a craziness up on the top of our stairs.
She likes to flick her legs and that's kind of crazy.
As you heard with that sneeze type, whatever you would call that. Are you being a silly goose?
Alright.
Yes, you are.
Alright, so I've got a small street. after targeting an opponent, you each roll 1 die.
Which we all seen how wonderful I'm at this.
And we tied again.
Thank goodness.
We just got a 4.
Oh, we have to keep going. We just tied again.
Oh, actually, if I would have read this completely, all the way through, my bad. If your roll is equal to or greater, deal 7 damage, otherwise deal 5 damage. So if I rolled less, I would have only done 5, so I deal
7 plus 8.
7 plus
Or
1
plus
is
1,
8.
yeah.
I'm going to use my reload. Alright, so add an additional 2 to that, so you've got a total of 9 damage headed your way.
Okay. Let's see if I can do anything. Well, I inflict bleed on you.
I just got rid of that token.
Good. And the other one, of course, does nothing because I need 2 of it. So I take all 9 damage.
Spit. Okay. And I'm okay with my cards for now, so you can go ahead and take your turn.
Okay. Combat power. Card. Perfect. Okay. Oh. Let's find out what else I get here. Dang it. Okay. Well, I still did something good. So I am going to go ahead and do 4 undefendable damage, gain Mesmerize, and gain 1 CP.
And you said that damage was undefendable?
That is correct. And with this, since I am actually doing as a result of attack, I am using my blood power and adding 2 extra damage to it.
Well, I think you wanted to overkill because I only have 4 health
I
left.
did just in
anyways.
case.
So I am out of health and am
Yay!
no longer
I
alive.
win. And that is Dice Throne. It's wonderful. Please like and subscribe, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your night.